Welcome back, everybody. It is your boy Hops back at it again on the mic for the RSC Season 8. And oh my giddy aunt, am I goddamn excited for this season. As you may well know, we have got a new tier called Premier, where there is no cap on that tier. Okay, that means anybody, who is anybody, can join up. These are the tippity top of the iceberg, the creme de la creme of European Rocket League. And we have them competing here and now in the RSC. And guess what? It is your lucky day, because the first game of this season is one of those Premier matches. Overburn versus Knull. And oh my word, I don't know if I can deal with this excitement. And today on the desk with me is the man with the luscious locks, Mr. Monk. And on the casting, on the deck, spinning up this stream is Mr. B Shake. Monk, talk to me here. What an exciting game we have ahead of us.
Not only are we back with a bang with Season 8 with our first game all season long, but it's our first game ever in the Premier tier. It's two tippity top teams, as you say, and it's going to be such a banger here tonight.
Banger, and mash indeed. I am so unbelievably excited, if you can't tell, that this Premier tier is kicking off this season. We have got some brilliant games ahead of us. The whole of the RSC has really stepped it up throughout this whole, through into this season. There's a lot of fantastic players, a lot of new players here, and we welcome you to the stream if you are here today. We welcome you to the games and when you are competing. I, for one, am so excited to see what Season 8 has in store. And obviously with that, we have that large prize pool courtesy of Luna Organization sponsoring the RSC, and that's all to play for in this season. But let's focus on what we have ahead of us at the here and now. Overburn versus Knull. Monk, talk me through these two teams. You have a speciality in breaking down what's going to happen in these games.
Yeah, they're two teams that we didn't predict too highly in the player ranking, so they've definitely got a point to prove from that point of view, and they certainly have the players of quality to do it. Archeon, he's given Kizzy a little bit of a chance here. He's rejected some offers, and he thinks that Kizzy can do big things in this league, and he's really hoping that by putting them solo in the player rankings, it allows him to break out of their shell. And maybe this match against Overburn is going to be the match where they kick it all off, but Overburn are going to be no easy target to defeat.
No easy target whatsoever. So Knull is Kizzy, Aper, and Lado versus Nuxie, Gomstat, and Asa Senpai. So out of those four players on Overburn, Nuxie is actually unable to play today. He was that, top end player last season. He got, I think, second place to Haven for the MVP title, was in the grand finals of Elite. So, he's a top end player. I wonder how much that will affect his team going into this first game. But it is going to be Stat and Asa Senpai, a couple of them quite well known in RSC as it is. And so this is quite interesting matchup. There is no stats to go on right now. There is nothing to go on because this is the first game. So I think it's all bets are off right now. But looking at kind of the predictions in terms of like the pre-season predictions, Overburn is sat at that second space versus Knull sat at the 8th. So, if you're going to go off these predictions, Monk, you would probably say Overburn have the advantage.
Well, I think those are just randomly generated. In the player rankings, I think we put them Overburn 8th and Knull 10th. So, Knull, we put at the bottom of the pile.
I mean, there you go. Randomly generated numbers completely throwing me off. But has anything really changed? Hops can't count, but we knew that from day one. But as we wait to get these players into their respective teams, I would love to ask the chat, give you your name, give us your shout out. Are you excited for this season? Obviously, we had a fantastic end of last season indeed. A brilliant hype train, a brilliant dono train, which has led to me having to, I've got a few forfeits, which don't worry, they're in the works. But Season 8 is extremely exciting. What are your predictions, chat? Can we get a prediction poll up? I'd love to see what you guys are saying here. We also want to hear what you guys are going to say over the course of the stream, the course of the season. The players are getting into their respective teams, or maybe not just yet. It looks like maybe a car change is happening. But, you know, these Premier Bubble players, they can never decide really what car they actually like to play on. But I'm hoping that the players do join up sooner rather than later instead of having to recreate the lobby. But still, Monk, if you're going to put out a prediction here, what would it be? Is it going to be a close? Is it going to be a 2-2 all? Is it going to be a 4-1, a 4-0? You know, what am I looking at here?
Well, you know, they are both bottom of the table teams in terms of our predictions, so they'll certainly be looking to try and prove those wrong. But, you know, I made a set of predictions on Monday, I think, with all 5 of the Premier matches going on this week, and I think I gave the 2-all between this one because they seem so close going into it. So, you know, it's always the safe option, but, you know, it's an option I'm going with nonetheless. 2-all.
100%. 2-all, and the game, the first game of Season 8 is underway. Overburn versus Knull. Overburn in that blue, Knull in that red, and it is Kizzy on the side of Knull, pushing that pressure on, but Stat with that nice clearance off the goal line. Hyper is there trying to put it ball into the center. Stat looking for that second touch, but it's beaten out by Kizzy. Fortunately, gone there to block it. Hyper with a good rotation, popping up high as it is there, knocking it downfield once again. And something so interesting about these Premier players, which you'll see at like the RLCS level, is that every touch they make has a purpose. They aren't just booming it downfield, they're making the shots count as Azza almost puts one in the back of the net, but Hyper is there later, getting a nice tap around Stats and putting it into the center. But Gom has got the control on the ball. Maybe get a little bit of a fake of the edge dribble as he does so. A nice challenge from Hyper, putting it onto the side where Stat is there waiting, and Azza beating it in the air with Kizzy on that ball. I just find it so impressive how these guys have the ability to put the ball placement exactly where they want to. There is never a mistouch happening in the game.
Yeah, every touch here looking to try and create opportunities. Another one here from Stat, looks for the goal, instead finds the corner and it's beaten away. But yeah, they're both really threatening here. Both teams have had early opportunities to try and put their team ahead in this first Premier game on stream all season long. But you know, it's about that moment of quality. Who will get it first? Who will manage to take the lead and, you know, set themselves up in a great position for the rest of the series?
100%. There's a bit of a clearance shot comes out. And the mistake is something which I'm sure we'll see few and far between at this level, coming out from the side of Overburn, not getting the rotation exactly how they wanted it, allowing Kizzy to get a booming clearance into the back of the net. So the first goal of Season 8 falling into the hands of Knull. I think it only fitting really that they score the first goal, considering it is Archeon's franchise, and if you don't know the big man himself, he is the man who runs it all at the RSC. So first goal going under his franchise, and I think that is definitely well earned. Says Hyper trying to put some pressure on because he's going for another shot, but the defense scattered for this Overburn side as Stat trying to make something happen here. Bit of a dribble. Gom going up the side wall, looking to the passing center. Not the best of touches from him for allowing Kizzy to come away with the ball. Stat goes for the early 50-50. Hyper is there waiting, pops it up high. Lejdo, can he beat the ball? Yes, he can. That gets beaten in the air. And right now, it does look like this Knull side are complete midfield control, allowing for a hell of a lot of pressure. I'm slightly concerned for the Overburn's defense right now. Not as much organization as I'd like to see.
Yeah, there's been a good period of pressure here where Knull have just kept them in their own half and been threatening that second goal for quite a while here. And you know, a couple of times here, Overburn have now broken out, but Knull have just come straight back down, and they're trying again now. They're not letting off hook whatsoever, and you know, they're looking at this 2-all prediction, and they're looking at them being 10th in those power rankings, and they're deciding that, you know, they want to try and change something about that. They want to try and win this series.
100%. You want to start the season as you mean to go on right now. And right now, it is all Knull leading this charge as they're trying to make something happen. Not too much happening, a little bit of midfield banter going on here, but Gom missing that touch has just left the goal wide open for Hyper to put it into the back of the net. What happened here, Monk?
Corner bounces just caught him off guard completely. It almost looked like he'd gotten away with it after Lejdo tried to go for the angle and missed it, but of course he had the man in behind him to check himself, checking him up, and making sure that that ball does go in and taking this 2-goal lead with 2 minutes to go. And you know, they might have already done enough, but I'm sure the Overburn will be trying to fight back and, you know, try and get back into this game a little bit more, because for most of it, you know, they've been on the back foot and having to defend attacks. Here's another one from Kizzy.
But the Kizzy's on fire right now. He really wants these W's. He almost gets there Ball over to Stat, who puts a shot on, but it is saved. And something I want to ask you, Monk, is how much do you think the first game, the early games of the series, can affect one's mentality and playstyle with your teammates? Do you think these are, they're nowhere near the final form of what we're actually going to see later on in the season?
Yeah, and it's made so all the more by the fact there's only one game against each opponent in this Premier tier. We've shortened down the season, giving them less games to play because they are so busy. So the quicker you get on your feet and in your team, like in terms of the league season, then the better it's going to be. And absolutely, these deciding first few series are going to be what's, seeing if they can go on in the season and keep up the chemistry and really start to keep it going.
100%, 100%, and it is now still the Knull side in control. They have seemed to be a little bit calmer on that defense compared to Overburn, able to reconstruct themselves after being on the back foot. He's gone, does put a nice shot on, but Iper is there to get the touch away. He's trying to make something happen down the flank, forces a 50-50 and stays on the ball. Does get a bump on Stat as well, following up with Lado, who are able to put it on the backboard. Kizzy has gone up. Can he make anything happen? Yes, he can. Go for the double touch. Not able to find the angle. Not enough boost to work with, but he has left it open for Iper. He puts it wide. Uncharacteristic, and Kizzy not having enough boost to complete that shot. Unfortunate for them, as it does find that redirect over one player. Unfortunately, it's a little bit wide. 10 seconds left on the clock. It looks like it's all but over. And Knull are going to take this first game unless a miracle happens. But I do think it is a game over. A nice first game for Season 8, and the victors are going to be Knull. The massive GGs to both the teams, but what a shame that was. A really good performance, and what a way to set off the precedent of the Premier tier.
Yeah, they did everything they needed to do. Overburn had a few chances. They actually had 8 shots in the end, but it never really looked like Knull were going to let any of them in because their defense was just so strong for that whole 5 minutes. And the 2 goals they did score, maybe there were a couple of mistakes from Overburn in there, but they capitalized on them fully. They got the goals that they deserved, and they've gotten this game 1 victory.
That game 1 victory, absolutely essential. But a 2-0 victory was for the Knull. Iper, Kizzy getting those first 2 goals. Lado playing kind of that third man, getting those saves when necessary, but definitely looking for Overburn to step it up. If you're all sat in that coaching booth right now, Monk, what are you going to be saying to your Overburn side? Is it just to say, calm down, clean yourself up, play your game?
Yeah, calm down. Make sure you're getting these balls out of defense when you need to, because, there were a lot of sustained periods of pressure, which, although always didn't result in a goal for Knull, they just took more time off the clock, made it much harder for Overburn to have enough time to get back into the game. And in the end, those moments where Overburn just couldn't break out and they were just left brewing all those opportunities where they could have cleared it out much better, then those were the moments that came back to bite them.
It really, really was. As Azza getting a demo onto Iper. Stat getting bumped and bullied around his own half though, but Azza has been left with the ball. Going for a bit of an air duel play. Unfortunately can't get over one. And that leaves the ball left dead in the corner. However, Stat is there looking for the central pass. Kizzy cutting that out nicely. Gone putting it again towards the goal, but Iper there putting the pass over to Kizzy, and look at that, the first passing play of Season 8, and what a tasty one that was.
Pinpoint from Iper to Kizzy. He sees that there's the man coming for him, trying to block off that shot, but he also sees Kizzy on his left, finds him with it. Kizzy obviously has the goal in his sights there, and yeah, he's never going to miss those. 1-0 to Knull.
I know, and you must admit, what I think people forget is how fast these guys play at. It's not like they're creeping around, and it is Lado putting the second one in for Knull, starting off where they left off from the previous game, getting those goals in. But as I was saying, this difference in speed at which these guys play at can make those shots quite difficult to hit. You have to think 2-3 steps ahead if you're playing at this level.
Yeah, especially there when Gom was trying to get that clear out again. It was him again that was missing those clears out from the defense, and you've got to be ready for those hits into the middle to come at such speed. And sometimes the bounces are going to be awkward, but you're just going to have to deal with them a bit better than that at this level, because as we've seen, Knull will have a man there waiting to capitalize, and once again they've got themselves the 2-0 lead.
That 2-0 lead is right now pinnacle. However, as we all know, almost 4 minutes is a mammoth amount of time in the Rocket League world. So still a lot to play for as Hazard does get the demo onto Iper. Nice clearance coming out from Lado over to Kizzy, who's really, really been impressive so far in these games. Nice redirect coming out from Azza. Looking to the backboard. Later does get that read, and the rotations are coming out. Stat looking for the pass in the center. Azza has got the shot onto goal, a little bit high. And what a read that was from Kizzy. But in the end, Azza following it up with another shot, and that is the first goal for the Overburn. And I love this play coming out. Kizzy with a brilliant read, but Azza just there when he needed to be. There is 2-1 in favor of Knull, but Overburn starting to charge up now. They are starting to rev their engines. Their axles are nice and lubricated. And you can definitely see them moving around the field with a lot more purpose than what we saw in the first game.
Yeah, Azza calculated that one to perfection. You think he's missed the first shot, you think he's skied it too high, but really he was just trying to make it awkward for Kizzy and hope that he put it out into another awkward position. He did. Azza was waiting for it, tucked it away, and as you say, they finally got the ball rolling, finally got their first on the board, and maybe now this is where they really start to make Knull work for their wins.
Yeah, that's they're really having to work for it, but Azza has found that clearance, potential second goal, but it isn't too stressful for Later, who is able to get that touch away, allowing Kizzy to come off the backboard. Not the best of touch from Kizzy, but he does find that bump onto Gom. But Gom actually right into the center of things, trying to put the ball into the middle of the box. Unfortunately unable to find that. Iper is there, gets a second touch over one, still with the ball, decides to just pop it up, allowing Stat to just get that catch, and now Stat with an opportunity to dribble here. Is he going to fake it out? No, he isn't. He puts the pass over to Azza. Azza putting it a little bit too wide, but can he follow it up? Yes, he can. That's the second goal. Overburn have tied this game up.
2-2, just like that. Stat to Azza. Azza waiting for the ball to come off the backboard. It does it after another Lado touch as well, but either way, Azza will find the rebound. He will get it in the back of the net, and as you say, they equalise it, and they've really started to get the ball rolling now.
They really are. The ball is rolling. I love that pun. It was unintentional, but it was absolutely beautiful. And I must admit, it's been a man on your screen right now, Azza, who has definitely stepped up. He has warmed up, some may say, and he's definitely looking in a great form. Looking to tie up this series. So far, as Gom is now dribbling across the field, looking for another aerial, only 18 boost to work with, but he used that another flip to get it over to Azza, who actually almost finds the top right corner, but just a little bit wide. The ball now dangerously, precariously in the Knull half. Gom is flying up, Kizzy chasing it, puts it into the center, as if they're waiting. Pops it, not the best of pops. If I had committed to that, that could have been a goal. Gom on the counter-attack, pushes the pass over to Stal. Stal gets the touch over one. Later is there to cover it. Azza's still there, pops it over one. It's just bouncing just a tad wide. How has it not gone in yet? Stal going for another flick. The ball is just eluding the goal right now. It cannot be put into the back of the net. Hyper and Stat 50-50 in the center. Hyper coming off the side wall, not much boost to work with. The booming clearance coming out from Azza. Stat is there, finding the redirect. It's just a little bit wide. Oh my words, this Overburn side has just completely woken up.
Completely shifted the momentum of the game. Every time Knull come forward here, once again, we'll see Overburn just break out, go straight back down the other end and open up more opportunities. Somehow, they haven't got that third goal yet, but if they keep going like this, almost, Lado gets the save! Oh my word!
How? Lado, how have you got that save? It was completely wrong, but Iper with the flip reset, almost getting it under the player. What shots, and this is exactly what we expected from Premier. Tippity top mechanics and gameplay, and we are funny here. Lado almost finds the angle, cannot find the second touch, but Kizzy's there to put it in the back of the net. Knull leads 3-2.
I thought for a moment it was tragedy for Lado, but he got off lucky with this one because Kizzy was ready for it. Azza and Gom couldn't react to the miss quick enough, and finally we have a third goal. I thought it was maybe destined to go to OT there for a minute with how many shots we were seeing just stay out of the goal, but we do indeed find a leading goal, and the question is now whether Overburn can get it going again, can get the cooker heating up once more and find another equaliser.
And they put themselves into Overburn. That is the question. Turning up their heat. Some may say igniting, but that's a completely different franchise. But now we have Stat trying to make something happen. Leaves it for Gom. He puts a shot on. Nothing there, though. Iper with the redirect. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Unfortunately for him, not able to find the angle, but he is putting the pressure on. The ball has to be kept up if you are on the side of Overburn. Azza puts it downfield. Gom is there. Puts the pass over in towards the corner and is going to be killed. Knull are going to take this 3-2, and holy guac, oh moly, what a unbelievable series that was, and I have to say thank you Esports Scotland for raiding us with a party of 18. You are tuning into the RSC Premier tier. This is an uncapped tier where we see the top of European Rocket League competing here. We just had the first first couple of games. This is the first series of season 8, and oh my god, I'm slightly out of breath because of what we've just seen. What a game that was.
So well done from Knull. You know, all the pressure on them. First game of the season, first game on stream all season, and Overburn have just equalized you up. What do? You, of course, go and score the third goal after so many missed chances, after it looked like for so long that they wouldn't get the leading goal. They go and do it, and then to top it off, they keep Overburn out for the last 40 seconds, get the job done, and now they're in an incredible position to go on and make the most of this series at 2-0 up.
100%. What I find fascinating is there's 8 shots apiece. You know, there wasn't a moment at which, these guys seemed outclassed. They were both teams were putting shots on, and both teams were finding accurate shots. It was just Knull find the back of the net more, and I must admit, Knull better keep on their temper because Overburn look really hot right now. They are wanting that W. They are hungry for that W, and I think, you know, they've got a mountain to climb, but God, is it doable for them?
Absolutely doable. They've struggled a little bit so far this series. You know, it looked like they might have had a chance in that second game, but it wasn't to be. They did fix up some of those mistakes from the first game, though, so they looked a lot stronger, and yeah, there's every chance for them here to go on and take this draw if they can get their act together and make sure that Knull don't keep on scoring the way they have been.
Exactly, Knull finding the back of the net, finding those openings. Leave that Overburn's weakness, those chinks in the armor they've been finding, but Azza with a nice touch, putting it into the center. Fortunately for the Knull side, Kizzy was there to read it. Kizzy coming off the sidewall again, looking for one touch, not much boost to work with, so goes for the ground pitch and challenging it again. Brilliant second touch from him, but Azza there to read it again. Iper keeping that pressure on for the Knull side, not the best of clearances. The ball's going to fall into the center. We saw Iper going for that bump onto Stat, which could have been huge, but Stat with the evasive maneuvers getting away from there, and now it is Overburn's turn, but later getting a booming clearance. Fortunately for the Overburn side, Gom was there in the center. Gom now going for the challenge. Iper is there, 50-50. Gom coming away with it, puts it into the center. Anyone there to follow it up? No, nobody there for Overburn to get that shot away. Gom doing so much work right now, putting the balls exactly where they need to be. Azza has tried to put the ball again into the center, but Iper reading it well. Gom have rotated back. Not the best of touches from him. He gets bumped actually, allowing Kizzy to come in for the shot, but it was swooped up by Azza again. Kizzy firing up, trying to get the touch. Gom beaten out by Gom. Azza putting it into the center again. Nothing coming of it, and it's still back and forward, 0 apiece as we approach the 3-minute marker. Iper looking deadly though, just a little bit high as the shot comes off that crossbar. Now the Gom coming away with the ball, but to round one, no, beaten up by Kizzy. Unfortunately, Stat is there. Iper backing out from that shot, allowing Stat to boom it down the field. And now this is a counter-attack opportunity for the Overburn side. Gom is putting it down to Azza. Azza going for the pop into the corner, looking for that redirect shot, not able to find it as Iper is there once again. A bit of a miss coming out from later. It's actually thrown Stat a bit, even though he has 0 boost. I think he was expecting Iper to get that touch. Has Gom putting it around one. Azza is there. He actually beats out the final player. Gom now, can he make something work? Can't pop around Kizzy as he reads it brilliantly, I must admit. It has been a lot of Kizzy doing a lot of work. Is that putting it off the crossbar and down? If that was Rito, if that bounced off the crossbar, that was a prime opportunity for a shot. But so many opportunities for both sides, but no capitalization yet, Monk.
Oh, just as you said, another no capitalization. As Stat once again keeps it out. We're halfway through the game, and still somehow goalless. Azza looking to change that off the post. As Stat waiting there, he gets the 50, but not the second one after that. And Knull get it away once more. But for a lot of the case throughout this first 2.5 minutes, you know, we've seen a lot of balls be dropping loose in the middle, waiting for that second man to come and attack them. And both teams have been struggling to get that second man there quick enough and in order to open up that quality shot, you know, that clear-cut opportunity. So, you know, what I'm looking for both teams is, you know, just that speedier second man, that more willingness to commit yourself forward and look for the attack.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And something that I think both these sides need to do is kind of slow their heart rates down a little bit. It's been a lot of chaos in this game so far. They've got to maintain their structure and composure. They've got to keep calm. They execute exactly what their game plan is, and that's how they will get the W's. Right now, it's a lot of chaos, kind of just adaptive Rocket League, playing what's, you know, only the instances, not the plan. so far. Let's see how they can kind of calm themselves down and get back into the firing line, getting that W as we approach the minute marker. This is anybody's game right now. Later winning that nice touch. He's going for the shot, but Gom left there to defend, and the shot is going to come through, and it is going to be a beautiful goal coming out from Ipa. And once again, it is Knull in the lead, and what a finish this was. Top right bins, as they may say.
All three players involved in that one. Of course, it is indeed Ipa who gets the finishing hits, and you know, he was committing his third man there. It could have been very dangerous for them if he hadn't have scored that one, if it had once again somehow kept out of the net, but he had confidence in himself. He backed himself to tuck it away and make sure that Knull do take the commanding position in this third game, and you know, it was the quality finish in the end to make sure that that happened. It
really was, and Ipa's massive clearance to almost try two of them trying to follow it up is left gone with a free ball pass over to Azza, but Ledo reading it beautifully and getting in between that passing play because he has gone up looking for the double touch. Is read off the backboard, and something that these Prem players do so incredibly well is read that backboard. So you know, you won't see the double taps as often as you do in, let's say, major or minor, because the backboard is so well covered. You have to pull off something special if you want to hit it. Azza now with that clearance towards the goal. He has caught that corner boost, left it for Stat, gone with the shot a little bit wide. Dazzle though following up again, and that was just calculated. I thought that was a shot coming out from Gom, but by the looks of it, that was pure calculation.
He sees Kizzy and Ledo absolutely ready for the shot coming in. What they weren't ready for though was Azza coming in behind Gom off of the backboard to Azza. He gets the goal. It's all squared up again. Who's going to be the one to take in number 3?
Oh my lord, who is going to be tied up? And this Overburn side really need to keep their composure. They cannot give an early goal away, otherwise this side is going to run, Knull side is going to run away with it as the ball just goes a little bit wide. I saw the attempt. Ipa was looking for Ledo on that pass. The ball is just a little bit wide there as well. Gom has gone up for it, gone for the shot, it's just off the backboard. Nobody there to follow it up. It's 3 seconds and counting. Can either team make or break it, as it does look like it is going to overtime, the first overtime of season 8, and I'm getting shivers right now for how good this game is. Gom coming off the sidewall, looking for the edge dribble, does fake one, no, Ipa gets a touch to it, Ledo has to cover. Tizzy now trying to go for a bit of a pinch, doesn't find it, but he has been left with the ball, 37 boost to work with, goes for the flick, but it is blocked very nicely by the Overburn defense. Stat now left in his corner. Doesn't have any boost to work with, trying to make himself a nuisance, which he does so, but it is going to be Knull and Kizzy being that goal in. Not much Stat could have done there. He had barely any boost to work with, and that pass coming from Ipa off the backboard just left I believe that was Azza in absolute no man's land. Brilliant finish from Knull, but that is going to be a GG's. We have got one game left. It is, you know, 4 games in the series because we do the league in a points basis, but it will be Knull winning this series right now. Overburn needing to get this 4th W so they can get themselves on the leaderboards. But Monk, talk to me. What did you see in that game?
It was so close all game long. There were less shots apparently in this one than the last, but it still felt like every moment someone could have scored, someone could have found the back of the net and taken the lead for their team. In the end, we go to that OT where anything can happen, anyone can win it. Knull in the end do take it, and you know, with that 3rd game win, do indeed guarantee themselves to finish the day at the top of the Premier standings. But it's so close between these 2 teams, and you absolutely feel that Overburn can still take something from this series and, you know, at least get themselves on the board going into week number 2.
Exactly. Overburn, they have had so many opportunities to kind of just shut down Knull. Knull, though, seeming to have the answers. They seem to have a response to every single thing that this Overburn side does. You know, I wouldn't say, to Overburn, change up your play style, but what I would say is just maybe shut down Knull before they can even get going. Get that midfield control, because Overburn are doing such a good job of controlling the midfield and setting themselves up for victory. We are going into our 4th and final game of this series. Monk, what do you expect here? What is going to be this game score? Tell me, talk to me.
I don't know. I want to give it to Overburn because, you know, you want to see these close series. You don't want to see anyone, you know, immediately go 4-0 down in the league standings, looking to try and change that. Gom does indeed get the leading goal, only 10 seconds in. What a start!
What a start as well, and that came off a 50-50 from Stat. Gom touching it down. Ipa does everything possible. Unfortunately, Kizzy unable to get the touch needed and knocking the ball into the goal, but really nothing that he could have done in that scenario. I think Kizzy was maybe, you know, saying, all right, have this one, that was a nice shot. But they are now 1-0 down now, so it's the first time that these guys have actually been, you know, at the deficit right now. So still a lot to play for. Passing play comes out. Azza unable to get the pre-flip shot off away. And so leaves it for Stats, who gets a booming clearance, and the ball is going on target, allowing Gom for the shot. And that touch coming out from Gom, I believe it was unbelievable. Azza getting a demo onto Kizzy. Iper is there to get it over one. Doesn't beat the second, however the ball has been left floating in the air, forcing out to get a touchdown. Passing to centre for Kizzy, play off the backboard, nobody there to follow it up unfortunately, allowing Stat to get a nice clearance, and he beats Iper as well. He can play around Leo, can he put it into centre? No he can't, as Iper comes back for a second piece of the money. And actually takes away with it. Kizzy now left in his own corner, not much boost, and I must admit Knull have been doing this so well, but Isa is there actually to put the second goal in. And as I was saying, it wasn't Knull, but Overburn, when they get their goals, it comes off the back of this boost starving that they're doing on Knull.
Yeah, Knull just had no one left in the defense to try and take it away from that center of the goal. You know, he got 50 at the side there, and yeah, Azza's going to capitalize on that one. So yeah, Overburn doing a really great job on that. As you say, the first time they've taken the lead, and you know, considering how well Knull have been doing after they've gotten the lead, then you know this could be great signs for them if they are to try and get this final game win.
100% as a shot does go forward. I don't know why Lado actually tried to pop that. That shot was on target. Appa is there though, and he puts the first goal in this fourth game for Knull. It was a beautiful finish. That was such a difficult angle, but is able to find it. Tries and dink it off the crossbar and down. And there we have it, 2-1. 3.5 minutes. It's only been a minute and a half, and we've had so much action so far. As in Chrissy, off the kickoff, Iper comes away with it. Stat though getting a nice interceptive touch. Is challenged again by Iper. Lado putting the shot on just a little bit on target as Azza is there to get it away. He's now playing patiently, goes for the pop, but it's read very well by Gom. Iper has to go up, pops it into the middle of the ceiling. Nobody there. Azza going for the catch, looking for the pass over to Gom, but it's read by Lado. Really good job from him on that defensive play. And right now, Knull slightly on the back foot as this Overburn side has this midfield control. And must admit, Overburn have really settled into their game style in this fourth game.
Yeah, they've had much more consistency in the middle of the park in this one. They've been much more reliably hitting it forward into those dangerous positions, considering they have had that midfield control. Here's another one. Gom has another chance. The only previous RSC winner on the pitch, but he couldn't quite finish that one. But yeah, Overburn, they've absolutely stepped it up. You know, they may have conceded one here, but they do not look like they're going to concede another one because the chances just keep coming. Here is Azza, can't quite finish that one.
Oh my word, the defense coming out from Knull right now. They do not want to concede again. They know if they go 3-1 down, it is a huge task to actually catch up with a hot Overburn side. And, you know, right now they're doing a very good job of keeping that goal away. Stat, though, trying to have something to say about it. Wins it 50-50, allowing Azza to come away with the ball. Has zero boost to work with. Decides just to dink it off the backboard. Stat trying to get the read. Unfortunately, isn't able to. Gom is left on his own. Decides to play it back into his corner. Smart play, but Kizzy is there. Lado, you could see flying across the sky there. Trying to get that tap in. Not able to. Stat going for a ceiling shot. Zero boost to work with, unfortunately. Gom, though. Woo! Out of the blue, almost finding that redirect. Kizzy though trying to put the shot into the goal. The demo comes in, but it is Kizzy getting the back of the net, and that has tied the game up 2-2. And I must admit, if Knull come back to win this over Overburn, oh my word, that is going to be frustrating if you're an Overburn fan.
It's happened all so quickly, all so simply. You know, Kizzy just takes it around one and waits for the last man to be demoed. Kizzy, the man who built this team from the ground up, finding, you know, Ipa and Lado from the tryouts, and it's proved to be a great start from them in this one as Kizzy does indeed get the equaliser as they look to maybe, unbelievably, somehow get the sweep over this Overburn side.
I know, and that would be rather impressive indeed. Knull doing a really good job of formulating their plans. As putting the pass into the middle, they don't know able to get the touch. Unfortunately, Stat a little bit too far back to get anything happening here. Iper going for that touch though, almost getting the fake and bump. Would have been an incredible goal, but unfortunately does not happen. As of now, they're trying to find a clearance, and they are under a hell of a lot of pressure, this Overburn side. Knull really squeezing right now, trying to find the back of the net to take him into the victory. A minute left on the clock. Who is going to break the setup? Only time will tell. Kizzy puts into the center for Lado, but Gom reads it nicely. Lado reaching Gom's touch, they're able to put it back into that corner. Finds another touch, putting it into stat there, reading it nicely indeed. Try to put it over Iper. Iper doesn't have any of it as Azza gets another touch over to Gom. Gom with a shot, and it's just on the crossbar and down. Holy moly, what a play. Azza with the beautiful redirect pass over to Gom, and Gom with absolute precision accuracy, putting the lead in favor of Overburn 3-2, and what a finish that was.
That was ridiculous from Gom. I mean, the pass from Azza looked good enough, but you're never expecting Gom to finish it with such accuracy, especially when you're looking at the, the Knull defense and there's two men waiting on the line, but they could do nothing about that one. Such a great goal from Gom to get his team the lead once more.
100%, and almost another one going in off that clearance, but Iper reading it well. Kizzy with the redirect. Gom though saying, listen, I can do it, but you're not allowed. Is Iper trying to get another touch into the center? Not too much for Azza to deal with, but it is awkward for him. Lado following up again, but unable to get the second touch that he wanted. Iper now on the back foot, 10 seconds remaining. He knows he has to make something happen. Lado has gone up, unable to get the touch again. Iper has been left the ball, get challenged early by Azza. Can Lado keep it up? Yes, he can. He hasn't got any boost to work. He hasn't got any boost to keep it up. Kizzy, though, is there. Stat is going to kill it. And there we have it. Overburn taking that fourth game. Victory goes to Knull 3-1, but I must admit, Overburn looking unbelievable in that game number 4. What a finish that was coming out from Gom. We've already seen highlight plays happening in Season 8, and I am so excited to what the season brings.
Yeah, you're maybe looking at them as all players that have played in RSC before, so they always know that even if you do go 3-0 down, that fourth game is still going to matter so much going into the rest of the season. So, maybe looking at Knull, they don't have that experience, maybe switched off there a little bit in that game 4, but they still played very well, but it just wasn't good enough when Gom is scoring goals like that. I
must admit, Gom was so unbelievably impressive. What a redirect. I mean, that's just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. What a finish it was. But in the end, it is Knull taking that victory. And a massive GG's to both sides. And guys, that has been your first game of Season 8. The first game ever of the Premier Tier. GG's to all the players who competed. But next up is Minor Tier. Sorcerers versus Prominent. It's got an exciting game ahead. You're going to join us back here with myself, Monka. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll have a 15-minute break and we'll be right back. See you in a second.
Stick around, folks.